Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It is May 14th, 2024. Let's go ahead and jump back. We'll take a quick look at what happened yesterday and the day before. So we'll look at Monday and Friday of last week. I wasn't here yesterday to do our broadcast, so what I'll do first is go back to Friday of last week and just take a look at what happened here. I don't recall exactly what we were talking about in our pre-market. It's been a couple days now. But as you can see, the market opened holding the holy orange power level. So you had a great opportunity to buy that right out of the open with a huge bullish divergence. Again, the 200, the VWAP, the holy orange power level there. You might have taken on 1 or 2 ticks of heat, and you actually would have grabbed a nice 10, 11, 12 point bounce coming right out of the open there. So we can jump in here and take a look and see. It began the stair step out of the open with our roadmap levels holding the first, then holding the second, but then obviously not enough steam to go ahead and break out and push to new highs. So we got the pullback from there, and then we got ourselves those classic fade setups off the back end of the 200. So market started to fail out, right? Came right back to the holy orange power level. You had 2 opportunities on Friday to buy it and make at least 5 points, right? The second one was only about a 5 to 6 point bounce. First one giving you again over 10 points. And then there's that little tag at the back end of the 200 as we are pushing into a little micro bearish trend. So you hold the back end and then we start to stair step down. We even bounce right off the next roadmap level and then come up. And then there's the crossover, right? Here's the push down below the VWAP, and there, my friends, is that textbook tag at the back end of the 200 with divergence. Great opportunity to short the market as it was looking like the whole thing was starting to drop out. And you would have grabbed yourself from the 200 there. Again, a little bit of risk, maybe maximum 1.5 there. And then you got this push from about 49 right to the tick. The low of Friday, once again, was our roadmap level to the tick. I think it went through it by 1 tick there. So you got yourself an opportunity to take 49 right into the top end of the roadmap level there for over a 15 point push. Okay. And then from there, we find the support off our roadmap level and then an attempt by the bulls to go ahead and push out. And the end of the day there on Friday, obviously nothing super sexy happened there. They came right back up, tagged into 50% of the previous day, and then just didn't have enough strength to go ahead and close out the week up above 50% of Thursday's price action and pull back to close. Actually, I apologize about that. Came right up the back end of the holy orange power level and could not get through. I moved this over to the new level there, so I apologize about that. But as you can see, kind of came up, struggled around VWAP, came to the back end of the hopeful, and then pulled back. And then we came into Monday morning of this week, and you can see, so Sunday's Globex session, what happened? They held the close of the day before, right? The close of Friday there, and then just started to ride. And there's your tag of the VWAP, right? So we had just a little bit of a stair step right in Sunday afternoon there. Could have got in off the close, could have got in off the VWAP, and you would have captured this beautiful push. And where did they come up to and fail? Just before the market opened yesterday, the high of the day before, which was the high of Friday. Right, so they came up and made a nice double top, and this is what I warned you guys about yesterday in the news report. So I was doing the news report, and we were in this rally. It was about 6, 7 a.m. my time, and we were obviously in a nice rip coming all the way back up to test into the high of Friday there. And I warned you guys in the news report that things look strong. We did go ahead and pull back and hold our roadmap level nearly to the tick, and we were getting a really strong push back out. However, I warned you guys in the news report, we very well could get a nice strong rally and come right up to the high of Friday and get a double top and pull back, or peak above it and then pull back. It's a very common theme in the market. And sure enough, what happened here, again, I wasn't here for our broadcast, but it was in the news report that I sent out just around 7, 8 a.m. Central Time. And so they came up, and what do you know? Even got a divergence as it was testing the high of the week before. And so Monday began a little bit of a pullback, right? So let's take a look at what happened here yesterday. Again, held the back end of our roadmap level at the top end, came down, tried to hold off the VWAP there. Again, not surprising. Couldn't get through the FMA, and then came down, got our first bounce, basically at the 50% of the previous day, but you could even argue one tick from our roadmap level, and then just could not get through VWAP. How often, it's like these scenarios over time, you start to see them play out over and over again. So when you see these things, and the market's trying to bounce and just can't get through VWAP, and then we start to break lower, it is a clue of some weakness in the market. Now, I'm not saying that every time the market pulls back from VWAP that you're just guaranteed 50 points to the downside. They could just pull back and bounce right back up. But this is a clue. If the bulls can't even hold above VWAP and they're failing back down through 50% of the day before here once it rejects, that there's obviously some weakness in the market, right? So what happens? We get a play to hold the back end of the 200 as it's failing. Again, in basically the same orientation, we've got our crossover, we've got price falling down below VWAP, and then we get the tag of the 200. So another opportunity there, 52.49 to about 40, maybe a 6, 7, 8 point push. And interestingly enough, a place you should have been taking profit if you were short is right where we get our attempt for the bounce, right? And then it fails again, basically off of 50% of the previous week. So notice what happens previous day. So it holds 50% of the previous day all morning. Then we continue in the bearish trend, come up and basically hold it here. Not to the tick, but for all intents and purposes, holds it. And then we get a wash down. And guess what happens yesterday? They bounce again, I think 1 or 2 ticks in front of our roadmap level there. That's been on the chart for I don't know how long now, right? So came right to it, bounced 1 or 2 ticks in front. And there you can see the low of the day before, the low of Friday, was again right near our roadmap level, right? Just a tick below it. So yesterday what happened was price tested the high of Friday. Then we got a nice bearish trend. Price tested the low of Friday and then bounced out and closed right in the middle of that range. So not too much happened yesterday, but there were a lot of beautiful opportunities, right? So closed right around 50% of the day before, tested the high, tested the low. So basically, in physics, zero displacement, right? Didn't really go anywhere. And then here we are coming into the open this morning, and there's the PPI news that came out at about, just about an hour before the open here. And as you can see, a nice washout from that news, but what happened? They came down and could barely get through that scaffolding, and now here they are recovering as we come into the open. And if you notice, it's been just another stair step. Scaffolding, swing level that we've added, and then that 52.33 again, the low of the day before, coming up. Now we just held the VWAP and pulling back off that scaffolding. So there's just been a whole lot of beautiful stair stepping going on here, and here we are coming into the open, and once again a textbook hold off the VWAP there with divergence, and they're now up about 5-6 points. So that wraps up our review of the last 2 days of price action, and just want to point out that the bears came back to test right into this. Not only is it a structure level on our charts, this is one of our main market scaffolding levels, but if you zoom back, and maybe if we go back to the higher time frames for that perspective, look at where they found that support. So yeah, we had a roadmap level there. Not too surprising that that roadmap level was the top of this major chop zone here, and that's exactly where price came to, tested, and then found that support to come out. So not surprising to see that support right in that area. So that brings us here to this morning, and we're going to do our pre-market now. So let's go ahead and jump up to those higher time frames and